Hello everyone, Reverend Cole here from Selkirk United Church with another midweek message. It is March 31st today, the last day of March 2021 and the Wednesday of Holy Week. There was an article in the March edition of the United Church's Broadview magazine. The author, Tricia Elliott, starts off by saying that she learned in theological school that the most important ministry takes place in the interruptions. She goes on to say that the COVID-19 pandemic is like the mother of all interruptions. That's for sure. And yet, just as nearly every normal routine in our lives has become interrupted, we have learned to pivot from one way to another way. We have had to pivot to new ways of communicating, new ways of working, new ways of being family, of being friends, of being church. Lots of ministry has happened between all of us and all of you in the meantime. Elliott tells a funny story about a minister at Clarenville United in Newfoundland, Reverend Bob Mercer, who quite quickly, as the pandemic hit, became a self-made video producer, sound tech, and screen star. In November, Mercer shared a photo on Facebook of his wife climbing a stepladder and posing their son's iPad precariously on one of the runs to record the weekly service. Above the picture, Mercer wrote this: "COVID has taught us to be resilient and hit the ground running, using whatever is on hand to keep the Word of God alive. This photo should give you an idea of our ingenuity for God. There's nothing like preaching to a stepladder for 6 months to make you realize just how much you miss your people." That's for sure. I don't preach to a stepladder over there in Studio 6 on Sundays, or here in Studio 5 on Wednesdays for that matter. But there is, surrounding me, an interesting collection of items that normally wouldn't be found in a church sanctuary, that act as my in-house congregation these days. Let's see, what do we have here? We have a chessboard, a couple of stuffed animals, crokinole board, a sombrero, some board games, Battleship, Scrabble, a trouble light, just to name a few. They certainly make for a quiet congregation compared to the real-life version at Selkirk United. No talking or sneezing or opening up noisy candy wrappers during the sermon, none of that here. But they are also not nearly as much fun as all of you hooligans. Anyway, Elliott goes on to talk about how the pandemic has meant a difficult transition to online ministry for some, and she lists some of the drawbacks. But she also talks about how the National Church was actually able to streamline some of their operations and respond to some of the new needs of churches much more quickly than ever before. The United Church Foundation's granting program, Seeds of Hope, which does not typically fund technological improvements, awarded about $90,000 to help congregations and ministries upgrade their tech capacity. I don't know if Bob Mercer applied for one of those grants to upgrade his stepladder. I'll have to ask him about that. Also, outreach organizations like the Go Project quickly developed programming, including online confirmation programs and live virtual Sunday school. Questions around what church will look like in the future were also examined in this article. Elliott thinks that as much as there has been uncertainty, as much as there has certainly been loss in terms of not being able to meet in our buildings, at the same time, there has been gain as well, in that we have been able to reach some people who, prior to the pandemic, were basically unreachable for lots of different reasons. One example she gives is the newest member of St. George's United Church in Comox Valley, BC, Jaslyn Braddock, who underwent surgery and spent several months in hospital. She wanted to get in touch with her spirituality post-surgery, but realized that she couldn't get to a church while in recovery. But then, because of COVID, worship went virtual. All of a sudden, says Braddock, it didn't matter that my health was terrible. I could take part in worship and be part of a virtual community of faith. And that's how her journey with St. George's United began. Finally, the article talked about other ways that the church has continued to be the church, including some fundraising aimed to help those who are struggling most due to the pandemic. Elliott said the initial lockdown exposed a lot of oppressive conditions for migrant workers, those who are homeless, incarcerated, and housed in long-term care. A few months after the pandemic hit, church members donated over $285,000 for people who were more vulnerable than ever because of COVID-19. The money provided food, shelter, basic medicine, hygiene kits, personal protective equipment, education, and more. That the church stepped up when it was itself more uncertain and hurting than ever is heartening, says Elliott. She concludes the article saying that all of the changes the church has made in the last year stemmed from wanting to be responsive to the gospel in the moment. And that might just prove to be the church's future saving grace. Hopefully we are ready to do God's work, whatever we are interrupted with next. Speaking of interruptions, there will not be a midweek message from me next Wednesday. I'll be taking a week of holiday time after Easter Sunday, but I will be back with another message the following week, which would be Wednesday, April 14th. As we approach Easter, I want to remind you that there will be an online service for Good Friday, so be watching for that in a few days' time. Oh, and one last announcement before I let you go for today. In the month of April, we ourselves at Selkirk United Church will be doing some special fundraising. We've done this before to help raise funds to help with salary for one of the workers at West Broadway Community Services, and that is Zita. And you've heard some information about Zita and her story before. So we'll be raising some money. Those who would wish to donate to this cause, you can send that into the church. Just make sure it's marked West Broadway or Zita, and it'll go to the right place. That's throughout the month of April. And that's it for today. Stay well, friends, as we journey through this Holy Week, apart, but definitely together in spirit. I'll see you all soon. God bless.